Have you ever been looking for a guitar demo of a really nice guitar, but then when you click on it, the guitar sounds like crap? You ever wondered why that is? Well, today I'm going to show a really basic exercise of what can go wrong, what can go right, and why I believe some people don't do the best job with reviews and how they can fix it. Now, in this day and age, it's really easy to get into doing stuff like this. And it's also really easy to buy like a 57 for $100, a Focusrite for another $100, and then just mic up your amp and go from there and give a demo on anything. And in theory, miking up the amp seems pretty easy, and what could go wrong, right? The problem is, in practice, there is a thing called signal flow. And signal flow is how the sound goes from your guitar, either through your pedals, to the amp, to the microphone, and then to the interface, and then into the DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, which is what you're going to edit it in most of the time. And that sounds pretty complicated, because in reality, it kind of is. So if you've ever looked at a $5,000 guitar's demo and thought to yourself, oh, how did he get that guitar to sound so bad? The guy might have been a good player, might not be his fault. Being an engineer, or having an engineering background, really comes in handy to make things sound as good as they really can. So in these examples that I just filmed, all I'm going to be doing is showing you how something as small as moving where the microphone is placed on the speaker can have an impact on your sound. And then after that, I'd like to give my thoughts on how people can get better recordings for their demos and stuff like that. It's not that tough. So what do you think? Pretty big difference, right? Now, obviously, depending on the guitar, the amp, what you're trying to play, whether it's going to have gain, what effects it's going to have on it, and what gear you have available to you, there is no one right way to mic up an amp. And there are countless other things outside of microphone placement that are going to make a world of difference. What kind of microphone is it? Is it a dynamic? Is it a condenser? Is it a ribbon? Is it a multi-pattern? There's so many things that go into these demos. And if you're going to be doing anything for YouTube specifically, you want to take as many variables out of the equation as possible. And that's why if you're struggling to record guitar with a microphone and a cab, the best thing that you can do is make it easy on yourself. Pick up something like an HX Stomp. Now, using an HX Stomp is more useful than just using it for one-off reviews. You can also use it for comparisons. I find it's much more consistent, and it will show the differences better between the guitars. Because if you can load up the same exact preset and all you're doing is switching the guitar that you're going to be using, you're going to hear the actual differences a lot better than if you have to worry about outside effects such as microphone placement, maybe something got knocked over, maybe you had to come back, you couldn't finish all in one shoot, and some volume got messed up. There's just a lot of variables that don't get considered when doing these things, and if you could take them out, it's going to make your product a lot better. But wait a second, just because you did buy an HX Stomp or a Helix or a Kemper or a Neural DSP, that doesn't mean you're going to get good tone either. You still have to dial in some good settings on the presets, play with it yourself. There's a lot of cool stuff in these. Sometimes the stock ones can leave a little bit to be desired, but you can learn a lot more about the real recording process because you can mess with different microphones, different cabinets, different placement, and it's a lot more inexpensive to do it that way than to do it the hard way and buying all the gear yourself. So with all of that said, I hope that explains why sometimes you have seen a video of really high-end gear and the sound has been not so good. If you could leave a like if you like what I'm doing, I really appreciate that. If you could subscribe if you're not, that also helps me out a great deal. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your signal flow is like. Did you even know what signal flow is? Did you learn anything from this? I don't know. Let me know. And I will see you guys tomorrow.